He's America's coolest conservative and the future king of talk radio. 107.9 FM WBT presents The TJ Ritchie Show.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, yes, we're on. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. It is that time. Woo! I am here. The most decorated radio personality in Charlotte. I'm going to give you just a second to get settled in. Drink it all in because, yes, I am that TJ. You were like, I thought that was him. Yes, it is. It is I. 704-570-1079 is the phone number. Also text it if you want to do it. If you want to be in 2026, get up to speed. Thanks to Liberty Buick GMC. Okay, Lonnie and I were talking about technical stuff all the way up until it was time for me to go on the air here. And I did not have time to check to make sure that my little sound thing works from here. Like I normally do before we go on the air. So I apologize for the unprofessionalism, but I have to check this because I've got some big time audio to play for you that is going to be what you talk about for the rest of the night and on into tomorrow. I just have to check this to make sure that it's coming through. Are you ready, Lonnie, to check? Okay, here we go.
Yes, I am.
Okay, it's coming through. All right, good deal. Whew, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but I appreciate the grace there because I mean, when you got a program that is moving and shaking like this one is all the way up until the last minute before we go on the air, sometimes you gotta take a step back and take a breath. I took a breath. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and get on this first thing because a lot of people are talking about it. A lot of people are talking about, being torn because it seems like the conservatives in the media have split. And, what are we going to do? Our family's breaking apart. We need everybody on board if we're going to get make sure the Republicans stay in the majority in the midterms and all of that. What's going on with Tucker? What's going on with Megyn Kelly? What's going on with Candace Owens? Oh, my God. Well, they're not conservatives. Let me put it that way. I am a traditional conservative. They are not. Now, if they have portrayed themselves in the past as being conservatives, maybe they were when they were wearing whatever mask they had on during those years. I don't know. But they're not conservatives now. And Tucker Carlson he has turned into a hysterical, effeminate, seems like schizophrenic to me from my amateur psychologist perspective. The latest thing that he said it's going around and getting him attention is the fact that when President Trump says we want complete surrender from Iran, that means that President Trump wants our troops to go in and rape all their women. That's what Tucker Carlson said. Now, Candace Owens is a different story. Candace Owens has lost it, in my opinion. She obsesses about things. You remember she was obsessed with saying that the president of France's wife was a trans woman, meaning she's a man. And then she was obsessed with that and on and on and on. And then all of a sudden that just went away. Something about threat of a lawsuit and she did something to prove that she's a woman. I don't know. But this Charlie Kirk thing where she just driving Erica Kirk, the widow of Charlie Kirk, crazy, I know. Just hounding and picking and just upset, making little documentaries about basically accusing her of being involved, from what I understand, in Charlie Kirk's assassination. Okay. So everybody's wondering. And then people who are just so upset with the fact that they don't want Candace Owens to not be on our team because she was such a fighter for us, you know. They'll start thinking things like, well, you know, Erica Kirk did act kind of weird. Well, she did smile at his funeral, at his memorial, you know, things like that. You start this gossip chain going. Well, Dinesh D'Souza. A lot of you know who Dinesh D'Souza is. He's a brilliant man. He is an Indian from India, and he's a conservative author, and political analyst, filmmaker. He's just an all around smart guy. He put out a clip today, and he says that some people are telling him a different story about why Candace Owens is obsessed with going after Erica Kirk as if she has done something nefarious. Okay, now listen, this is what he said.
Why doesn't Candace leave Erica alone? I'm sure Candace would answer, because there's a chance that Erica is part of the deep state, because maybe Erica had something to do with the assassination of Charlie Kirk, because maybe Turning Point at the highest levels was also involved. And of course, if that's true, then the Assassins Cabal is now running Turning Point, the most influential youth organization in America. I'm seeing a lot of memes on social media to the effect that Candace is insane, Candace is a demon, Candace is a secret leftist, and also calls for defenders of Candace, notably Megyn Kelly, to dissociate from her. But we not only have to explain Candace, we also have to explain why people like Megyn are so reluctant to simply say she's gone nuts. I believe I've figured out what's going on with Candace and Charlie and Erica. It's a dark triangle of a familiar sort, but with distinctive elements. For Charlie, Candace was merely a buddy. Charlie's relationship with Candace was, from Charlie's point of view, platonic. But from Candace's point of view, not platonic, or at least not according to my sources.
Well, now, Dinesh D'Souza's sources obviously are telling him that Candace Owens had the hots for Charlie Kirk. So she's not acting like a liberal. She's not acting like a crazed lunatic. She's just acting like a woman. Just acting like a jealous woman with squirrels in her head. Makes sense to me. Makes a lot of sense because if you cared so much about Charlie Kirk, you were such close friends with him, then you would know that the last thing he would want is for you to be out trying to destroy his wife, his grieving wife. But if there's a fatal attraction, quote unquote, which I'm not saying there is, don't say that I'm saying it. I am not saying it. I have no proof. I'm just saying what Dinesh D'Souza said, his sources said. I don't know Candace Owens. I know some people who have met Candace Owens, and this was back when she was still good Candace, and they said she wasn't that friendly. She could have been having a bad day, though. Not everybody is as friendly of a, big celebrity and all as I am. I'm a man of the people, by God. So you can't really judge Candace Owens' interactions with the common folk like you can mine. So I try not to do that. It's not fair to other big celebrities to judge them by the standards that I have set. It's just not a fair comparison. But why not? Why not have this as a possibility? Just asking questions. Isn't that what Aunt Tucker says? I call him Aunt Tucker because he's hysterical like somebody. This is why we should not allow naturalized citizens to hold office in the United States of America, especially when they're anti-American. we have election rules, laws. In order to run for president, you have to be of a certain age. Same thing. And to run for president, you have to be a natural-born citizen. Well, extend that to every other office. And look, I get it. That might take out a couple of good ones. I'm not so sure that Ted Cruz would qualify as a natural-born citizen because I believe it was either his parents lived in Canada when he was born on U.S. American soil, or vice versa. They were U.S. American residents from way of Cuba, and he was born on the soil of Canada. I'm not sure. He's a dual citizen. I don't know if you know that about Ted Cruz, the great Ted Cruz, whom I love. But yeah, he is a dual citizen, and I don't agree with that, especially now that Canada's an oppressive dictator-run state. But be that as it may, no naturalized citizens holding office in U.S. America should be the law. And if you got something to say about it, I'm right here. 704-570-1079. We got more coming up.
It's TJ, the Green-Eyed Patriot, on Charlotte's FM News Talk 107.9 WBT.
Welcome back to the TJ Ritchie Show. You have got unapologetic conservatism all off up in your face. I'm the Green-Eyed Patriot, America's coolest conservative. Actually voted America's coolest conservative unanimously. And it is not a title that I carry lightly. I know I do it for the people. Okay, got serious business here. There's some serious business. The Commonwealth of Virginia has been working in record time to turn that place into a communist haven. I mean, I don't know that we've seen anything like it for it to happen this fast after an election. So the Senate has voted to take away people's gun rights in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And it's, the same way that the communists who run the Democrat Party and their foot soldiers, their minions in the party itself, where they run around and they say, well, no, we don't want to ban guns. We don't want to take away your hunting rifles. We don't want to take away that. We don't want to take away just assault rifles, assault weapons. Okay. Oh, well, then in that case, only the guns that would assault people. Thank you for clearing that up. I apologize for even contesting your argument here. All right, so this shows you, because the thing about it is with these commucrats, whether they're national or whether they're state and local, whatever they are, you got to give them credit for really doing their homework and knowing the ins and outs of firearms and the way firearms work and how they're built and how they're qualified and classified and, all of this stuff. And that was proven on the floor of the Senate in Virginia with the Senate majority leader talking about this ban on guns, common sense gun control that they've just passed. Now, if you don't know anything about guns, you're about to learn something. If you do think you know about guns, then you don't know as much as you think. And this guy's about to school us all. Listen.
Have an assault rifle, you can keep it. If you have an assault pistol, if you want to have one of these pistols with a silencer on it and a pistol grip in the front, a really big pistol, if you want to have one with a telescope on it or lasers or whatever else you want, that's okay. You just can't buy a new one, and you can't sell it to anybody. If you want to have a magazine with more than 15 bullets, You can keep that too. You just can't buy a new one. And you can't, if you have an assault.
So you can't. Thank you so much, Your Highness, for allowing us this. If I'm in Virginia, allowing us this special privilege of getting to actually participate in the freedom that was listed as number 2. Number 2. That's how important it is. It's not way down at the bottom. The Second Amendment. It's called the Second Amendment because it's number 2. Thank you, Your Lordship, for allowing us to keep what we already have for now until we need to use it. And then I'm sure that the hammer will swing down, and then the next little session of Congress in the Commonwealth of Virginia will be take them all, take all the guns. Now, you want to know who has led this fight for this common sense gun control and ban on assault weapons? First of all, if anybody refers to a gun as an assault, whatever, it's an assault rifle, it's an assault pistol, then they don't know what they're talking about. There's no such thing as an assault rifle or an assault pistol, especially not an assault pistol. Nobody has ever even used that term. Look, I have on me at all times, where is it? Right here. I have a Sharpie magic marker thing. I have a Sharpie on me at all times. You know why? Because people are constantly hounding me for my autograph. And I got it right here. That's it, touching the microphone. If I decide the next child that comes up and says, Mr. TJ, most famous radio personality in Charlotte radio history, will you please sign my shirt? And instead of signing my name on his shirt, I take this Sharpie and I fling it at him and hit him right in the face. Then you know what I've got on my hands right there? An assault Sharpie. That's what I've got. A damn assault Sharpie. So anybody who uses the term assault weapon, assault pistol, assault rifle, they are communists. And they're against America. They're anti-American. Now, to prove that, this is the guy leading the charge for this quote-unquote assault rifle ban and assault pistol ban. His name is Senator Saddam Aslan Salim. I believe he is from Decatur, Alabama, originally. I think he is from the, let's see. Decatur is in Morgan County, Alabama. He's of the Morgan County, Alabama Salims. Okay? And this is what he said.
Look at us to say we are one of the reasons why they don't have to go through those drills, because we made sure that a place that they call schools or home, wherever it may be, is a safe place. So, Madam President, with that, I ask and renew my motion that we agree and concur with the House amendments.
The question is, shall the Senate concur?
All right, so he's from Bangladesh. Now that I checked it, he's not from Morgan County, Alabama. He's from Bangladesh. I don't know if you've ever heard me say it before, but if you haven't, this will be your first time, and I don't care who knows it. But this is why, in my opinion, which my opinion is usually the right way, and everybody should do what I say is my opinion because it's the best way. This is why we should not allow naturalized citizens to hold office in the United States of America, especially when they're anti-American. We have election rules, laws. In order to run for president, you have to be of a certain age. Same thing. And to run for president, you have to be a natural-born citizen. Well, extend that to every other office. And look, I get it. that might take out a couple of good ones. I'm not so sure that Ted Cruz would qualify as a natural-born citizen because I believe it was either his parents lived in Canada when he was born on U.S. American soil, or vice versa. They were U.S. American residents from way of Cuba, and he was born on the soil of Canada. I'm not sure. He's a dual citizen. I don't know if you know that about Ted Cruz, the great Ted Cruz, whom I love. But yeah, he is a dual citizen, and I don't agree with that, especially now that Canada's an oppressive dictator-run state. But be that as it may, no naturalized citizens holding office in U.S. America should be the law. And if you got something to say about it, I'm right here. 704-570-1079. We got more coming up.
It's TJ, the Green-Eyed Patriot, on Charlotte's FM News Talk 107.9 WBT.
It's the TJ Ritchie Show. I am simply the man. Because I know that's what you say about me when you're talking about me to other people. You go, man, you don't listen to TJ? He's the man. I hear you. I hear you all the time. We're on the same wavelength. Got a special bond with the 11 listeners of this show. And I appreciate it so much. As the Italians would say, so much. I love it. Programming note, as the big professional talk show hosts would say, Thursday and Friday, I will be on a little extra time. I'll start early during Brett Jensen's time. I'll start at 6 to cover his show for him. He has to be out, and obviously there was absolutely no other option. And when the program director asked me to fill in and cover that hour, he said it like this: TJ, it's Mike. You wouldn't be available to start your show at 6 o'clock Thursday and Friday, would you? You wouldn't want to do that, huh? It was kind of, I was like, hell yeah. Put me on. I'll do it. And so the 11 listeners from 7 to 9 during my show, I'm going to need you on a little early to help me out and let Brett Jensen's listeners, help them, bring them along so they don't freak out. You know what I mean? Once they hear me and hear all of my shenanigans and stuff, they might, have a collective heart attack. And we don't want that. And now that I think about it, now that I've been on the, quote unquote, on staff for a while, the first thing I ever did on WBT was sit in for Vince Coakley. Yeah. Can you imagine what Vince Coakley's listeners were thinking about me in the middle of the day at 10 o'clock in the morning? Here I come. And back then I wasn't as polished as I am now. I mean, that was almost a year ago. I mean, I am slick now compared to what I was then. I mean, I'm just blazing, laughing, carrying on, cutting up with that Boomer Von Cannon like, we didn't have a show to do. And I know Vince is, because they're used to, the ultimate professionalism from him. And, yeah. So anyway, I'm going to need your help with Brett Jensen's listeners so they don't freak out. I don't want them calling him and giving him a hard time. Like, oh my God, don't ever let that happen again. I'm sure he'll get that anyway. All right. Story in Charlotte. And you know how I know it's a big story in Charlotte? Because I heard I heard them talking about it on the WBT News. Anna Erickson. Talking about this, project they've been trying to get going for years now to get the light rail to run all the way up here where I live. Of course, they say Davidson, because that's still Mecklenburg County. And then, hopefully extending it on into Iredell County, Mount Morn, that's closer to where I live, in Mooresville. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if they've thought about this, but let me speak for everybody who lives up at Lake Norman. I mean, every single person I can speak for. We don't want it. We don't want it. The only people that would want public transportation coming up here, the people that live here that want that, are probably some freak Yankee liberals that moved to Davidson from Massachusetts or somewhere. And they won't ever ride it. Okay, yeah. You know what? You know what would really make our little suburban towns better? Public transportation. Yes, that would be great. Could I get an extra dose of that, please? Could I get an extra helping of that? Because, the one that stays in Charlotte is just, it is booming, isn't it? Just a bright light for the city. We want some of that up here. Stop bogarting it. Stop bogarting the luxury trains and other public transportation. We want some of that up here. Please. Let's get in on that. Said nobody. Except for probably some freaks in Davidson. And they're probably all professors. Now, I don't like to stereotype people, and I don't like to paint with a broad brush, but sometimes you just have to. If I don't judge, who will? I spent a lot of time in Davidson. I'm through there a lot. You know what I used to love to do? One of my favorite things to do, and this was before I was even thought of as being a news talk show host. I had a Harley Davidson, and it was loud. Loud. It was it had not the short pipes on it, which are the loudest. It had the medium sized ones, and it was really loud. Sounded great. Give me chills. And I had it completely dedicated to Ronald Reagan. It had Reagan's face, his official presidential portrait on the gas tank. The fenders had American flags and eagles and Reagan quotes that they put into the flags and blended it all together. It was really cool looking. And I used to love getting on that in the middle of the day and just cruising up and down the strip in Davidson, just racking them off. Wow. Look over here. That's right. Pulling up beside Subarus. I'm not making that up either. As the President Biden would say, hey, that's not hyperbole. That's a true story. That's true. As a matter of fact, Larry Sprinkle came and did a feature story about all of my Ronald Reagan collection of books and memorabilia, and my motorcycle was featured in it. It probably won him some sort of an Emmy award, I bet, that Larry Sprinkle. But anyway, we don't want that. Look, I'm saying I'm speaking for everybody because I feel like I am. I just can't imagine anybody saying, you know what I need to do? I don't just need to. If you need to get into Charlotte and you don't want to drive and you don't want to pay for an Uber and all of that, okay. That's one way of looking at it. But the train doesn't just run one way. Right? Think, people. Think. Now, hopefully somebody has taken heed to what I've said. Because I'm not ready to go move out onto a compound yet. Close, but not yet. They just want to keep pushing the city up here, don't they? It's the way it works. Just push the city, push the city. Yeah, because city's just really a bright light, isn't it? It's a beacon of greatness. Spread the no crime all over the place. All right, I got to turn my little fan on here because I'm getting hot in here because I'm on fire. Peoples, I am on fire. All right, you got something to say, whether it's agreeing with me or not. I'll be glad to hear it. 704-570-1079. We got more coming up. Come on now.
The realest your radio has ever been. TJ Ritchie is on Charlotte's FM News Talk 107.9 WPT.
Come on. Yeah. 107.9 WBT, Charlotte's FM News Talk. With the Green-Eyed Patriot on the air, everywhere. Dropping truth bombs like nobody's business. Okay. So I was just talking about, I mentioned the fact that I used to have a Harley Davidson, and it was all dedicated to Ronald Reagan. The artwork on it and everything was Ronald Reagan. And Larry Sprinkle did a story on me from the NBC affiliate, and let me tell you something. I know you've seen Larry Sprinkle on TV for years. He is a prince of a man. I mean, he really, really is. And he could easily be a jerk because, I mean, he's been around in this business a long time, and he's not. He's a good guy. So anyway, Lonnie sent me a picture of a Larry Sprinkle bobblehead that's in the studio. And he said, where is the TJ bobblehead? So it's a funny story, Lonnie. And it is so typical of, my lack of being able to promote myself properly. I talk about that all the time, how I don't promote myself enough and all like I should, especially in 2026, when to make it in this world of social media and all, you got to just flood the market with yourself, and I'm not good at it. When bobbleheads first started becoming popular years ago, Lindsay, who was on our show at the time as she was a young person in her mid-20s, and she was on for a long time with us, and then she quit and then had kids, got married, the whole thing. And so now she's back, hasn't been back a couple of years. And that's her you hear on the commercials and stuff, talking about her skin and everything. So she was in charge of the Ace and TJ merchandise. And she came to us with this idea and said, everybody is so into bobbleheads now. We could do Ace and TJ bobbleheads and sell them online, and everything we did back then was for our charity. And that's when we laughed at her. We did. We laughed, and I said, I mean, really, do you think anybody would want a bobblehead of us? We're not like that. We're not. People. A lot of people listen to our show, but they don't look at us like celebrities, like they would want a bobblehead, like athletes have their own bobbleheads and stuff. And then I guess it was maybe just a couple of months later, we would have been ahead of the game, but we weren't. We had a big 12-pack of nothing is what we had. And if you if you really were to know me, because a lot of people don't get my sense of humor and all, but if you knew me, you would know just how ridiculous it is when I'm saying all this stuff about being, Charlotte's most famous radio personality, and they should have put me in the TV commercial and all that. I guess I shouldn't be telling you the secrets of my persona, but that's all, sarcasm, because I'm too much the other way. So I do that as a joke. But anyway, that's my bobblehead story. Now, Lonnie Ray.
Yes, sir.
Of all the people that are hosts on WBT, which one do you think would really be the one that would go for having a bobblehead of him or herself the most?
I'd say Pete Callender.
You think?
Maybe.
Yeah, he's pretty full of himself. I don't know, though. I think that Beth would go for it the most to have a bobblehead of herself, because she could pass it off as just being goofy and cute. You know what I mean?
Could you see the whole morning show having all bobbleheads, Bo Thompson bobblehead?
No, I can't see Bo wanting that. I can see Beth wanting it.
Yeah, makes sense.
And I can see sweet Bernie, producer Bernie, wanting it for everybody else. Because, he's a giver like that. He's a sweet guy. I mean, don't discount the ego on that Vince Coakley now. I bet he has bobble. I bet that he's like, how those Jeep people have all those rubber ducks on their dashboards?
Yeah.
I bet he's got bobbleheads on his, and they're all of him in, different outfits. Like, it's got him, from back in the day when he was a news anchor, whole series of them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because they say that Vince Coakley signs tons of autographs every week. Nobody takes them, but he signs them.
Really?
Yeah. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. They're all sweet people. But seriously, I mean, you know who you were going to say, and you'd be serious. There's no way anybody could mention having a bobblehead of anybody on the staff that Brett Jensen didn't say, mine better be first. He's like, I'm first with all the stories. I got to be first with the bobbleheads. Matter of fact, nobody even knew about bobbleheads until I broke the story. That's what he would say. He's like, I invented bobbleheads. I broke the story of the invention of bobbleheads. So that's what I want. It's hard for me to even say, go buy a coffee mug that has my name on it. And that's not for charity anymore. That's just try to eke out a living in this business now.
Hey, man, I need a TJ Ritchie coffee mug.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, we have different sizes. We have like a regular coffee mug size. And then for some reason, there is a hot tub size available.
What?
It's like a giant hot tub with a handle on it. I don't know who in the hell drinks coffee in a big mug that big. But we've got those available, and I guess you could eat soup out of it or something. I don't know.
Oh, so that's bigger than the Bubba kegs, right? Than the big gulps, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I mean, I got one on my desk of the big ones, and it's got about 100 pens in it. That's how big the ink pens.
Wow,
it's heavy, and I mean, there's no way I could drink coffee out of that. If I drank that much coffee at one time, I would have to go to the hospital. So surely it's not for coffee. But anyway, you can get regular sizes too at tjritchie.com. Buy a bunch of them. I'll see if I can get you one, Lonnie, at a reasonable price.
Cool.
I'm kidding. There are no reasonable prices. Not on anything. Especially something with my name on it. Good Lord. I mean, can you imagine how valuable that's going to be really, really soon? After people hear me on before dark on Brett Jensen's show. Yeah, that's going to be my springboard into getting paid somewhere. You watch. You just watch me. Watch me. All right, I'm sorry I wasted a whole segment there talking about bobbleheads and my glory days in radio when I was somebody. I used to be somebody. Oh, well. And look, I don't know whether I'm going to talk about politics or the culture or anything in the next hour. It just depends. Just depends on whether I can finish this giant mug full of tequila before the next hour. Oops. Shouldn't have told off on myself. No. Hang on. We got some great stuff coming up next.
He's America's coolest conservative and the future king of talk radio. 107.9 FM WBT presents The TJ Ritchie Show.
1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your little buddy TJ bringing you the unvarnished truth. About what? I have no idea. Just spitting it. That's what I'm doing. If you think you can do this job as well as I can, then come on with it. 704-570-1079. That's the phone number. If you want to talk with voices or you just want to do a drive-by and text the studio and then go on about your business, you can do that too, thanks to Liberty Buick GMC. GMC. All right, last night during the show, I admit I was a little distracted by the World Baseball Classic. I'm a huge baseball fan. My favorite is college baseball. I love the LSU Tigers. Go Tigers. And I love Major League Baseball whenever I can identify with whichever teams are playing. You know, if I turn on a baseball game and nobody on the field looks like me, you know, then I can't relate to it, so I don't watch. Unless, you know, they're more diverse and there are people who look like me on the field. I'm kidding, of course. But here's my thing. People have been asking me, are you joking around about when you say that the major league players that go and play for their home country shouldn't be allowed to play in America again? Yes, I am serious. If your country does not offer your for your craft to be done in your home country and make the type of living that you want to make, and you have to come to the United States of America to thrive because you're not thriving in any other country playing baseball. If you have to come to U.S. America to thrive, then it should be part of the deal that you don't go back and take up bats against U.S. America and play for any other country during this World Baseball Classic or Olympics or whatever. And you go, well, if they didn't ask them to play on the U.S. America team, then why not? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You still don't go take up bats against U.S. America. You just don't do it. And I know you've heard me say that over and over and over. I get it. You're probably sick of hearing it, but I want to add something to it. And I thought of this when I was watching some videos on the social media of these crazy white liberal women rooting for Iran's military to beat our military and to bomb us. It made me think how despicable that is for an American who lives here in the freedom of this country. First of all, it has the freedom to say that in this country. Try that in Iran. All you white liberal women, go try that in Iran. See what happens to you. Not just the freedom to say it, but the freedom to live the life that you have lived in U.S. America by being a U.S. American citizen. To stand and be that damn stupid and crazy to say that you're rooting for the enemy in a war. It made me think on a smaller scale, obviously, but still. If you live in U.S. America, and I don't care whether you were born here or whether you were naturalized here or whether you were are on a work visa or whatever else reason that you're here, if you root against the United States sports teams against other countries, then you need to be deported. If you're naturalized, denaturalized, and deported. If you're here as a guest, bye. If you were born here and you're rooting against America, then whatever team you're rooting for, that's the country that you got to be deported to. Now, let's see what that does. And people go, freedom of speech, freedom of speech. Well, yeah, kind of. And yeah, does that go against our freedom of speech? First Amendment? Yes, it does. But we're talking about baseball here, ladies and gentlemen. We're talking about you going to a baseball game in a country where you are able to pay thousands of dollars for a ticket to a baseball game. And then you're going to cheer against the team that represents the country that made it possible for you to have thousands of dollars to go to a baseball game while wearing baseball apparel, fan apparel that probably costs another $1,000. And you're going to root against the team that represents the country that made it happen for you? Bye. Now, obviously, I know I'm out in the ocean on a piece of driftwood here. I don't expect a lot of people to be jumping on my side. Even the people who love me would be saying, all right, I can't go with you on that one. They at least should not be allowed in the stadium. Let me go back to, okay. Now, my competitive spirit, because I'm a competitor, my competitive spirit and my emotions tell me that you should be deported if you're rooting against America. Okay? Now, I'm just talking about natural born citizens here. Anybody else? Yeah, I'll stick with that all the way. Don't come and root against America or you need to be deported. I don't care if America's in a hopscotch game against another country. You got to go. Because if you love your country so much that you're going to root against America for, then go back there and do the same there that you think that you're doing here to as a livelihood. Show some appreciation. Now, if you're a natural born citizen, maybe you don't get deported to the team that you're cheering for. Maybe you don't. I'm still on the fence with that one. But say I'm being benevolent. Then maybe you just are kicked out of the stadium or not allowed in. That would be more like it. So let's say tonight in 45 minutes, the game starts and it's U.S. America against Italy. So there are a lot of Italian Americans in U.S. America. So let's say a bunch of them show up rooting for Italy. They got Italy's jerseys on, Italy's hats, and they show up, hey, throw the ball. And they're rooting for Italy. Kick them out. You're not allowed in this stadium to root against U.S. America. And then if they continue to cause a ruckus, then they got to go to Italy to live. Have ICE, Border Patrol right there. Take them away. I mean, and you don't even have to be from Italy. Let's just say you grew up in Tennessee. You're not even Italian, of Italian descent. But you show up rooting for Italy, then you got to be deported to Italy. I mean, you could be from the hills of Tennessee, generations of your family right there from the hills of Tennessee. But you for rooting against America, you got to go to Italy and live. Now, if two foreign countries are playing each other, root for whichever one you want. Well, I don't want to even say that. I don't even want to say that because, there may be a country playing that's not so friendly to the United States. We don't want any of our people rooting for them. So, but we'll just let for now until we can get a committee on it or something to make a final decision. If there are two foreign countries playing each other, root for whichever one you want. But if America's playing somebody, you better, by God, be rooting for America, or you are off to live in that foreign land that you think is so great that you want them to embarrass America. Yep. You can have somebody from French Lick, Indiana, going and living in the Dominican Republic. You gonna root for that team? That's where you got to go. All right, who wants to add to it? If you want to add something to it, call or text. Or if you want to argue with me, I'm here. I'll take it, all of it, whatever you got. 704-570-1079. I'm running late here. I got to take a break, so running late, sounding great. We'll get to more of it coming up next.
It's TJ, the Green-Eyed Patriot, on Charlotte's FM News Talk 107.9 WPT.
Ooh. Yes. Welcome back to the TJ Ritchie Show. You know what we're doing? We're putting the funk in your trunk. I am America's coolest conservative, the Green-Eyed Patriot. Dropping truth bombs all over the place. On 107.9 WBT, Charlotte's FM News Talk. All right. So I was talking about people taking up bats against America and playing against our country in the World Baseball Classic. If you make a living here in U.S. America and you take up bats against us, then you should have to stay wherever you went to play against us. And if you're a fan and you are rooting against U.S. America, if you're not a natural born citizen, then you need to be deported to whatever country you're rooting for. And then if you are a naturalized citizen, you shouldn't be allowed in the ballpark to root against America. And then if you're caught rooting against America in the stadium, then you get kicked out. And then if you give any back talk, then you get deported to wherever it is that whatever country you're rooting for. All right, so James has something to add to that. Hey, James, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, good evening, Mr. TJ. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing pretty all right. I was just getting ready to eat a bologna sandwich when you started talking about your feelings, and I just had to call in because I felt the same exact way during the Olympics. Mm-hmm. I don't know any of those people, and if I tune in and it's the Americans against somebody else, if the Netherlands do great, hey, I'm like, wow, well, that was pretty impressive. But they had some downhill skiing in the women's division, and they introduced this girl named Eileen Gu, and I'd never heard of her. And there was a little Chinese flag out there by her, and I said, okay, well, we're going to see what she can do. And then they started giving her background. And says she lives in Sacramento, California, and her parents her dad's white and her mother's Chinese. and she was playing for China. And all of a sudden, I sat up and I was like, "Whoa, wait a minute! I don't mind you playing for China, and if you did great, I don't bring my politics into the sports arena, but if you did great, I mean, yeah, I do. If it's like,
if you're against the U.S. America, yeah.
Yeah, I got favorite, football teams and basketball teams. But when I saw that she was playing for China and she's over here taking advantage of all the things that America offers,
yeah,
I thought, I can't watch any more of this.
Yeah, well, and she should have been she should have been made to stay over there in communist China. Said, all right, you love it so much, you're making such a big spectacle, you're spiking the ball on U.S. America. Yeah, stay over there with Xi Jinping and do what you got to do. See you later.
For me, it's also denigrating to some of the greats, in the Olympic arena.
Yeah.
A lot of people, their history only started the day they were born.
Mm-hmm.
But when Jesse Owens was over there and he set all of those world records and just beat everybody flat out and defeated Germany,
mm-hmm.
that was a major thing because, of World War II and everything. And it was just like, here's a guy that, the Olympics have a history. And,
mm-hmm.
you go all the way back to the gladiators where it started, it mattered, And
and I look at it the same way. Paul Skeens is a gladiator of the modern day, and he's the ace pitcher for U.S. America. And I'm not going to say he's the new Jesse Owens, but we're going to wait and see whenever we beat Japan how the country feels, because they're usually the best baseball team other than U.S. America. Japan, Dominican, and U.S. America. So, yeah, especially, if we Ohtani thinks he's got it, easy here in America, I say keep him in Japan too, since he went over there to play with them. Take away his New Balance endorsements and all of that. You stay over there in Japan.
And I'll tell you another thing that just ate me up. I just thought of it was back when the men were swimming in the women's competition.
Mm-hmm.
Not this year, but in the past. And that Japanese guy that was about 2 feet taller than that girl was in there boxing and just about gave her a concussion. And that woman that was playing volleyball.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't watch it for a long time after that.
Yeah,
but I started watching it this year because Lindsey Vonn was 40 and making a comeback, and I wanted to see how far she would go. And so I didn't watch all the Olympics, but I watched some of it. But when I saw Eileen Gu, all of this stuff just came rushing back to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "You don't stand over here and make money over here." She's also like an influencer and a model. This Eileen Gu, and so she's making a huge bank over here in America. But
I know, and she should just, like I said, she should have to stay over there and deal with communism and see how far that gets her. All right, well, I really appreciate you calling. Thank you very much, bud. Have a good evening. That is James. And I don't blame. See, I don't even like the Olympics. And I know one of the greatest Olympians of the modern era, if not in history. I know him. And I've never told him, though, that I don't like the Olympics very much. As a matter of fact, I know two people who were Olympians that won gold. One of them for powerlifting and the other for speed skating. And at this point in our relationship, I don't want to say, I don't really care for the Olympics. But they would tell me if they didn't care for my radio show, they would do that whole thing. Listen, this is what people do when they meet you and find out that you're on the radio. They'll say this. They'll go, "Now, I got to be honest with you," and you always know what's coming next. "I got to be honest with you. I don't listen to your show, but my wife does." Or, they got to establish. Now, don't think that I'm one of your wide-eyed listeners that you're going to be able to pull something over on me because I'm starstruck or anything. is that they always have, I got to be honest with you. Actually, no, you don't. Because I didn't ask. I didn't, I'm not trying to be radio man here. I'm not trying to get you to listen. But I always knew they were lying because everybody in Charlotte listens to me when I'm on the radio. Everybody. And they always have. Every single person. So I just kind of laugh, go along with it, and go, well, whatever, buddy. Whatever. All right, hang on. We got to take a break. More coming up.
It's TJ, the Green-Eyed Patriot, on Charlotte's FM News Talk 107.9 WBT.
.9 WBT, Charlotte's FM News Talk. With the Green-Eyed Patriot, America's coolest conservative, TJ Ritchie. And the TJ Ritchie Show. Thank you so much for listening. Man, I'm trying to go through all these texts that have come in. I mean, it's just blowing up, as the children say. Okay. Let's see, go through some here. I agree with you, TJ. I love my country and I will always stand up for it. If you live here and you don't like it, don't let the door hit you in the when you leave. Just my belief. And that's a lady saying that. And somebody advising me about fixing something before I get sued. I agree. Hey, TJ, in defense of the woman child skiing for China, she was like exposed to as much socialism, communist propaganda in California schools as she has in China. That's a good point. Good point, Jeff. She was basically especially in California, she was indoctrinated by a communist school system. All right, a couple of sound bites for you here, as they used to call them, pieces of audio. This is in regards to the Save America Act, which is voter ID, and the Democrats are just putting it all out there, jumping in front of that moving train and sacrificing their bodies to do anything they can to make it where they can cheat and have illegal aliens voting for them, which is the only way Democrats can win, is by cheating. And we have a clip from not only the dumbest, but the drunkest senator in the United States Senate, Macy Hirono from Hawaii. I mean, she is a despicable mess. Listen to this.
It's not about voter ID. Oh, stop that. That's like a total description of the SAVE Act. Let me just focus on one part of the SAVE Act. In order to register to vote, you're going to have to show different pieces of documents. So if you're, let's say, a woman who got married, changed your last name, and if your last name doesn't match the name on your birth certificate, you're not going to be able to register to vote. That I call stealing our votes.
Yeah, well, have another Mai Tai, Maisie. How about that? And she cussed, so, that's the thing now, on our side and theirs. Politicians cussing. Trump did it the other day. So I hate that. You're supposed to be above normal, everyday people. You're supposed, not above them as far as a person, but you're supposed to be more professional. You're supposed to be the leaders. Why you got to get out there and use vulgarity? And again, I'm saying about all of them that do that. And there are Republicans that do it. I don't like it. I don't like it. But the reason Mazie Hirono, or whatever her name is, Hirono, is allowed such a platform is because we go back to what I'm always talking about. She's been pandered to because she's a quote unquote marginalized person. She's a woman of Hawaiian descent. So she's marginalized. And so she's allowed to spew whatever idiocy that she wants to, whatever drunken idiocy she wants to spew. And this is what we end up with. Now, I don't know where in Florida this was, but it's seems to be like a city council meeting or something. And people are allowed, from the public to come, and they can come up to the mic and speak for a certain amount of time, a minute or whatever it is. You know how these things work. It's your municipalities. And the way this guy, who's evidently the chairman of this committee, the way he handles things is the way that things should be handled. If somebody's crazy and they want to come up and waste your time, don't pander to them. Tell them to shut up and sit down. And that's what he did with this person. This is a guy who seems to be about 6'2" or 6'3". He's a big strapping guy, and he's dressed up as a woman. Well, not as a real woman. He's dressed up as what clown-like image he thinks of women. And he goes up to the mic to say his piece. Listen to this exchange. There should be more of this.
Randy, I believe you know me. I'm Erica Peace.
I have no idea who you are. So, Erica,
pageantry,
Erica PC.
drag,
Is that PC's your legal name? We have to put it in here.
Yes.
That's your legal name? Okay. Erica PC, you're recognized.
Yeah, so I am from Tampa, Florida. I'm here to school you again.
All right, you're done. Let's go next.
Really?
Yep. Come on, next.
Oh.
Come on, let's go. Whoever. Got a lot to do. No time for nonsense.
I'm here to school you again. I mean, first of all, the arrogance and the narcissism. What did he say his name is? Hold on, let me get that again.
Hi, Randy. I believe you know me. I'm Erica Peace.
I have no idea who you are. So
I believe you know me. I'm Erica Peace. I have no idea who you are. Because the last time he was up there, he thinks that he, quote unquote, schooled them on whatever the issue was. So in his narcissistic mind, he's thinking, okay, they obviously are scared of me. They don't want to deal with me again. I was such a big last time I was here. Yeah, I was like, I have no idea who you are. So he starts off his little speech with, now, last time I was here, I schooled you. All right, you're done. You're coming up here playing games, and you're just showboating and doing whatever you do. Get out of here. You're done. Oh, really? He was shocked. Really? Yeah, really. Sit down, clown. Somebody should say that to Maisie Hirono. Hey, first of all, sit down, Maisie, before you stumble and fall, which you're drunk at. Can you imagine if Maisie Hirono got together with Big Sleepy Hakeem Indica Jeffries and Nancy Pelosi and try to have a conversation? You got one that acts like he's as high as a satellite all the time. And then the other two act like Otis, the town drunk. I mean, who do we have running things? Come on. What are we doing? And Maisie Hirono always cusses, so she thinks that. I mean, hey, you know what? Little old ladies cussing, that stopped being funny back in the 70s with Clint Eastwood's movies, Every Which Way But Loose and Any Which Way You Can. When the old lady was screaming about the damn dirty ape or whatever she called the orangutan. That was the last time that was funny. Betty White tried to bring it back, but it didn't work. So chill out with that. Like I said, have another drink. Drag queen, try again. Don't come up there acting like, it's your personal stage to perform. Or at least if you're going to do that, then dress like Reba. Do a little lip sync to Fancy. All drag queens have to do that, right? You have to know how to do that. You have to have at least been Reba once in your life. If you're going to try to, get on stage at a city council meeting, at least be entertaining. Okay, you're done. Really? Yep. See ya. I love it. I love it. All right. So I had something to play for you last night, but I just wasn't, the mood of the show wasn't going this way. But it is such a learning, teachable moment, as Rush Limbaugh used to call it. I have to do it tonight, because if I don't, then it's going to get away from me, and it's that important. So you don't want to miss it. It's coming up next.
The realest your radio has ever been. TJ Ritchie is on Charlotte's FM News Talk 107.9 WPT.
All right, here we are back with unapologetic, in-your-face conservatism. The real deal, the TJ Ritchie Show. I'm the Green-Eyed Patriot. And don't you forget it. I said don't you forget it. Okay, this is something that happened over the weekend for International Women's Day. I know. Bear with me, though, please. Please. I have many points to make. I'm going to play for you a clip of a woman. She's a tiny little thing. She is not what anybody with the sense of sight would call glamorous by any means, or striking. And she is in the middle of a giant circle. She's wearing gaudy looking multicolored clothing, no makeup, giant horn rim glasses, and a baseball, kind of like a dad, what they call a dad hat, and a backpack. She's screaming into a megaphone, a bullhorn. All right. So now you know what it looks like, and she's in a park, and she's out in the middle of this circle. And we're going to listen to a piece of this, and then I'm going to describe the rest of it for you to prove a point that I make all the time. Listen.
What makes you mad? And now I invite you to scream.
I want you to scream, she says. So this is what she's doing. She's screaming. All right, I'm going somewhere with this. Trust me. Trust me.
It's okay to scream. You are allowed to be loud. You are allowed to have a voice, and your women need it. You are the leaders. You are the ones who will make the change happen. It is us.
All right, so scream. You deserve it. You need it. We're the leaders, so forth and so on. Now, what I always say about these liberal, and I don't put these in the category with the evil Marxist manipulateurs. I don't put these people in the category with the evil communist Americans who have poisoned these minds. I put these people in the category of just weak-minded cultists. But they show up at these protests. They dress like lunatics. They act like lunatics. They scream. They do whatever they can do to, quote unquote, be seen. When they show up at these protests, they have a built-in audience that is forced to watch them. She is on a high right now, standing out in the middle of that circle with all eyes on her. She has never gotten that type of attention. She's never gotten that type of validation in her mind. They are paying attention to her, and she's performing for them. What is she doing? She's screaming. She's leading them in a scream. Okay? Now, remember, I've always told you that if you are somewhere and a person gets on stage with a microphone, I don't care whether they're a radio person who's hosting a concert or whether they are the MC at a fundraiser, whatever they're doing, if they get on stage and they take the microphone and they say, "Oh, what a great crowd," give yourselves a round of applause. That is the cheapest way to get applause for themselves, is to say, give yourselves a round of applause, because they're on stage and you're clapping. All right? So this is what she's doing. I'm in the middle of the circle. Whatever I do, if I tell these people they're fantastic and that they need to scream because they deserve it, they're going to scream. And that's basically, I'm going to take that as being a scream for me. These are screams for me because I am really doing something fantastic here. Okay, so we got that. That's what she's doing. And then the other thing shows up that I always talk about is somebody, just one lone person, banging on a drum. What is the purpose of the drum? Why do these Marxists, these communists, always show up with a drum? Listen, I mean, bum, 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 bum. What is the purpose of that? You know what that is? That's somebody who owns one of those drums that says nobody will ever watch and listen to me play this. So now I'm going to get attention because I'm going to be the one banging on the drum. Who doesn't pay attention to somebody beating a drum? So you got that freak over there. That's what he's doing. He's like, I'm get some of her attention by boom, 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 boom. Okay. Now, to top it all off, she has proven something else that I have made an astute observation of, is that while she's up there screaming her head off into a bullhorn, what does she have tied to her wrist? A dog. Going back to what I say about people who can't go in public, especially in places where a dog is not supposed to be, where a dog is not its, most comfortable. You force a dog into public because you get attention for yourself through the dog. It's attention by proxy. Everybody looks at your dog. Oh my God, what a cute dog. Oh, it's such a pretty puppy. So come here. And then, millennials call them puppers and, whatever. And, so you associate all of that love that dog is getting because the dog is yours. You're getting that love. They love you in that moment. They're paying attention to you. They think you're great. They think you're cute, adorable, whatever, because of the dog. Now, the dog in no way belongs in this circle of freaks. Mainly because what do dogs hate more than anything? Loud noises. So she's putting her dog through an uncomfortable situation. He's probably scared to death. But again, it's to get attention. So everybody who's never paid attention to her now has to. Not only because she's screaming in the middle of a big circle full of freaks just like her, but she's also got a cute dog with her. I'm telling you, these people are sick. They are sick. And I'm a doctor. I know these things. It's like, okay, well, you're a doctor. Where'd you go to med school? I went to Mind Your Business University. That's where I went. Don't worry about it. I know these things. Mick Craig is coming up next. I will talk to you tomorrow. God loves you, and there ain't nothing you can do about it. Bye.